Welcome to 2025. We're back with a video that I think will help you kick the year off right, keeping everything organized. Last month I was having a conversation with a fantastic photojournalist named James Edward Mills, and we were talking about how to keep your files and specifically Lightroom catalogs incredibly well organized so you can find your files 5-10 years later, and if your client needs something, you're able to get those files quickly so you're not wasting a ton of time. And yes, I am one of those people who saves all of my files. That being said, you don't necessarily want all of your files right there with you all the time in your Lightroom catalog, but I'm gonna go back and we're gonna start of like, what is offload looking like and what does my folder structure look like? So I'm gonna get tiny right up there and, all right, so we are here, we're looking at my Finder because I realized that starting in Finder is going to be the key to getting your file organization done well. So, starting. Every year, beginning of the year, a new root folder starts on my servers. This is my new server, that's why it's only got 24, 25, and 2021 just because I had a little backup thing from a different archive drive that was having some issues. But anyways, so as you can see, we've got 2 folders in 2025 already from YouTube videos, and we're actually going to jump to my other server, which is my main one. And as you can see, here is every year's root folder, bada bing, bada boom, bada boom. That's the core of it. And we're going to jump to 2019 because this is a big project that has a lot of different stuff happening. So you can get the full understanding of how I organize all of my files. So it's easy for me to get later. Inside the years folder, as you can see, we have every project, year, month, date, in that order, no spaces, no periods, anything, year, month, date. And the reason for that order is because it will always be in chronological order for the year. Then underscore the client name underscore lighting, or project name, whatever you want to call it. I just saw word lighting because I was shooting for myself. But anyways, so if it's something I'm doing for myself for YouTube, I don't put a client because obviously I am the client. But if it's something for a client, it goes year, month, date, and here's the project we're going to look at. Year, month, date, so 2019, 11/07. So 2019, November 7th was the first day of filming this project with Yazalala Minch project, and we were in Ethiopia, which is where they're mainly working. And then when you go into the project folder, we have all of these top projects are our days on location for that project. So the 7th and 8th, we were traveling. The 9th was really where we got to Addis Ababa and we were starting to film. And we had 5 or 6 different cameras on this project. So we had to keep everything organized. And we did have a lot of cameras that both did stills and video. And the reason for that is because I was doing both for this project. So we had we were delivering a photo library, multiple videos, some specific photos that were for specific projects, etc. So we had a lot of things to deliver. So every camera gets its own name in the folder, A, B, C, D, and obviously we were not using every camera every single day. So that came in handy for the most part. Obviously A is the one that was used the most, and then B as well. Yeah, but that's how I do all of my folder structures for while I'm on location. And this makes it really easy for me to differentiate between cameras, etc., whether I'm in Lightroom or I'm doing video in Final Cut, Premiere, DaVinci, whatever. You're able to easily organize, and I'm able to look at what day we're there. And in a multi-day project like this, I'm also putting what are we doing each day on the day's project. So you can kind of see here, We have interviews in school. We were in a town called Holetta. We had a sunrise, and we were at a church service. We were doing the feeding program, stuff like that. So these are all different things that we're doing. So it makes it easy for me to know ballpark what is in each folder. Then, as you can see down here, we've got output and other things like that that are broad from the entire project. So like all of the phone photos and videos, and I will always separate still photos that are like raw images and video files into separate folders. That way I'm not pulling videos into Lightroom and photos into my video editing software. Yeah, just makes it a lot easier. Much cleaner to do post. Now, let's talk Lightroom. And I will always take my files from my card and dump it from card to 2 locations on the hard drive directly. And usually I'm using a software like Hedge or something along those lines that allows me to be able to safely back up to 2 locations from card. Then I will import into Lightroom. And so now we're going to jump over to Lightroom, and this is where things get really fun. So as you can see, we have a very colorful library, and I am going to talk about how I go through my Lightroom so that it's easy to understand what I'm looking for. So right off the bat, you can see I've got everything here. I have nothing sorted, at least I'm not showing things as sorted. When I am culling photos for the first time in Lightroom, I give the things that might be worth keeping a 3-star. So we're going to bump to having just my 3 stars shown. And the reason I go to 3 stars is because it's like, this is good enough that it's a middle of the road image. I know there's some people who will automatically start at 1 star and then go up. I like going in the middle, and then if I am in my second culling, I like a photo more, it'll go to a 4 or 5. If I like a photo less, it'll go to a 1 or 2. Especially in situations where it's like, I need to get a specific image for the client because of XYZ reason. And let's say I get a photo that I like one version better, but if they need it for a print resource or something along those lines, that they need something specifically framed, that maybe I have a slightly differently framed image that I didn't like as much, but it works better for the situation, I can easily go back, grab that, and then go to deliver. So everything gets a 3-star, then it bumps up to 4 and 5, and we can really sort down. So yeah, we're not wholly on Ethiopia. There we go. All right, so now we are fully into YZM. And as you can see, we have all of these photos. This is all from this project. We shot thousands of photos. It was insane. And so how do I keep everything organized for delivery to client, things I'm using for myself, etc.? Well, especially with a monster project like this, where I have someone filming BTS, someone doing B camera, etc., I keep it pretty straightforward. So there's also the color filter that we're going to talk about now. So on this project, I use the blue filter for all BTS photos. So anything that's my crew, camera equipment, etc., I use that for my own personal marketing. I use that for other things. If I'm doing work with a brand while I am on location, that I have to provide them with deliverables of us doing the work in the field, this is that, those kinds of things. And then green is all people photos. So this is all pretty much school related. This was kind of the big thing that they were working on, is they have a preschool and they have a school support program. So all of this stuff is related to their school programming. And then red is other things that are not necessarily people focused, but they are related to their programming. So they also give out hygiene products to the families of those involved with their programs, things like that, but they are not people focused, or like they also give out lunches. And so we have those photos that they are able to use if they need it in that way. And then did we use yellow? Yes, yellow is just searching for a couple things. But the point of this is that like we use the combination of stars and colors to make it easy to organize. So like that way, if they called me and said, hey, we need a photo of somebody cooking lunch for this type of situation, I can go, okay, I need a 4 or 5 star photo that is green because it's people. And so I can come in, boom, 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 and here's someone cooking. And now I have my image that I can deliver, and that does not take much time at all. So yeah, this is how I do it. This is my organization. I've been doing this for over a decade with a similar format, and it has not failed me. In fact, it makes it really easy to navigate going back in time. One of the big things that I do when I'm importing and starting projects is my project folder date is always the first day of being on location. I don't know if I mentioned that before, so I'm going to reiterate it now. First day of being on location. And the reason for that is you could have signed a contract 6 months prior to being on location, but when you think about where was I for this project, you're thinking about what was my first day on location. And so that's why I use what is my first day on location. That way it's easy, it's a hard memory. I can look at my phone and see a phone photo of that being on location, because usually I'm taking phone photos and stuff. So I can look at the date on a phone photo and be like, okay, here's my date. Granted, I already know it, but like to reiterate. So yeah, if you guys have questions about file management, Lightroom organization, etc., leave a comment down below. If you guys have any other questions that I can give you tips, tricks, and how to work better, let me know. Anything else, hit me up at Instagram at Simon Eisenbach. Have a great week. See you guys next time.